Today I'm going to show you how to fix another LR3 instrument cluster. The customer is experiencing all the common symptoms. The hazard lights are coming on and off intermittently. The door locks are unlocking and unlocking themselves. If we take a look at the screen, we're also going to notice that the screen is not displaying properly. We have a bunch of jumbled letters and artifacts. So let's open up the cluster itself and identify what's going on inside. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Nick. I started Nick's Electronics Repair over a decade ago, and since then have fixed over 100 of these instrument clusters. Now that we've removed the cover, let's go ahead and reconnect it. Power the unit on. All right, so clearly we still have our issue with the screen. And what I'm doing on the back that you may not see is I'm physically putting pressure on the IC chip. So our screen is now looking pretty good. I'm gonna let go and our screen is back to having issues. Putting pressure on the IC chip, screen looks good, letting go, putting pressure, letting go, putting pressure, letting go. So on the back of the cluster, this IC is our main controller IC, and very commonly it starts to have issues with the solder joints. So the pins that connect it to the circuit board get weak over time, and they no longer actually form a proper solder connection, and the IC is no longer able to properly communicate with the rest of the cluster, the screen, and that's when we get the hazard issue, the door locks coming in on and off intermittently, and a variety of other faults. So as you may have noticed, it is covered in silicone, so we can't really start working on it immediately without first removing that. It's not silicone, conformal coating. So we're going to be using the 8310A MG Chemicals conformal coating remover. And this is the gel version. There is a liquid version, but it does evaporate quite quickly. So we prefer to use the gel, at least for this type of repair. And then I'll just put a little bit on the top as well to get some of that conformal coating off the top. Not that that's necessary, but it'll give us a clean platform for when we reapply our new conformal coating afterwards. For the repair itself, it's not necessary though. All right, so this takes about 20 to 30 minutes. We'll reconvene in that time and take a look at our conformal coating and see how it has been attacked. All right, it's been about a half hour and we're gonna start our cleaning. I'm going to be using a cotton swab. Just try to remove the bulk of it for right now. All right, we'll use a brush to get the rest, some of the straggling pieces here. All right, we can still see there's a good amount left in between each one of these pins. So we can try scraping at it a little bit. I'm just gonna do that real quick, nothing too thorough. So the bottom row down here is typically the row that has the most damage. I don't know why that is. It just seems to be the pattern I've noticed. And as I am removing some of that conformal coating, you can actually already tell that some of the pins are moving and they're not actually soldered down to the board. Okay, most of these over on the left side are, but the first few I did on the right side are not. And we'll zoom in just a second, take a closer look at what I'm talking about here. All right, I think the corner one, yeah, so as you can see, that pin is moving. It is not actually connected to the circuit board. Same with that second one, it's moving as well. Third one seems to be locked in. I'm not 100% convinced. It could just be that the conformal coating is locking it in. This one's good. This one is not. That one's moving. And it's hard to tell, and this is one of the reasons we want to remove that conformal coating, is because it is going to make it look like some of those pins are soldered in correctly because you can't move them, but it's really just the conformal coating holding it in place. So this one, yeah, you can tell is moving very slightly. Same with this next one. Same with this one here. And so on. So I could go down the line and move probably another 10 or so pins. But what we're going to do for now is, even though we've already gotten the majority of the conformal coating, there's still quite a bit left in there. And so I will do a second layer of the conformal coating remover. And I'm really trying to dab that in between the pins so it goes all the way to the back. All right, and again, we'll reconvene another 20 to 30 minutes and then do a second round of cleaning. All right, I did not wait as long, so we still have a good amount of the conformal coating on the chip. So the conformal coating remover chemical does evaporate over time, and comparatively to the first round of cleaning, it had mostly evaporated, whereas this time around, because I didn't wait as long as I also think I put a little bit more, it did not evaporate all the way, so we have a little more left over. But I think we got what we needed here. There's definitely still a little bit of conformal coating left in between the pins. It's not going to be perfect unless we remove the chip. I don't think that that's necessary. In fact, I think that that would be a bad idea because we risk damaging the chip when we do that, or damaging the traces. So we're just going to do a thorough cleaning here. So we are all cleaned up. And what I'm going to do is start by adding some flux to all four sides of our chip. The flux is going to help us get better flow. And what we're going to do here is start by adding just a little bit of solder on the corner. And we're going to drag that little ball of solder over and across every single pin. And I'm going in a little bit of a circular motion until we get to the very end, at which point we're going to desolder a little bit of that excess. I'm using a piece of wick that's already used, so I don't desolder too much, and unfortunately I think I might have, so we're going to add just a little bit more solder. There we go, perfect. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and repeat that process. If you have a defective cluster that you would like to send in for us to fix, we do offer the flat rate services, which come with a 1-year warranty, and those are available on our website, which I will link in the video description down below. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a cleanup, get rid of some of the extra flux we just added. I'm typically going to start with a Q-tip, try and absorb as much of it as I can. And I'm going to do the rest off screen with some isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush. All right, let's do a final check. So first, I'm going to make sure, do I have any bridges? I do not. Second, we're going to do a rake. So using my tool, I'm going to put pressure on every pin one by one, make sure that none of them are moving. And I'm going to do it the other way. I'm going to be extra thorough on this bottom side because this is the side that is known to commonly have loose pins. We're all set there. See, this side also often will have loose pins. And you can see the metal pick is bending, so that's how much pressure I'm putting on it. I'm not being very soft, which could bite me in the butt if I do actually have a loose pin. This top side pretty much never has loose pins, so we'll just do one check. And same with this one, it's unlikely, but it does sometimes. All right, and I'm gonna do one last brush. So part of the reason is when you do the raking with that pick, sometimes you might knock a little shard of solder loose. And so we don't wanna have anything potentially bridge between the pins. They're obviously very small, they're very close together. And so even a very small shard of solder could cause a bridge and some sort of data issue. And let's see, one more visual inspection here. So that right there and right here is the little shards I'm talking about. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we're good there. I think we're good here. I think these are just reflections. And again, I think this is a reflection, but we're just gonna pick at it a little bit. Ah, right there. Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and seal the chip using our conformal coating spray. So again, from MG Chemicals, this one is the 419D, which is the acrylic conformal coating. I'm gonna put the fume extractor on. All right, and we'll just let that sit for about 20 minutes or so, and we'll reconvene and reassemble the cluster. Okay, our new layer of conformal coating has been installed. Let's do our final test before we reassemble everything. And our screen is looking quite good. Doesn't look like we have any issues with the display. And our temperature sensor gauge is obviously super responsive now and working exactly as it should. Let's go ahead and focus on the other one. So I'm going to offset them. And we're just going to cycle through the power a couple of times to make sure they all zero out, and they do. So that does confirm it. Right now it looks like everything's fully functional. Let's go ahead and finish the full installation. So we'll put the cover back on. And of course, one last to be extra sure. Okay, and it looks like it's working. Obviously, our screens are still good. Our stepper motors are all good, so the gauges are exactly where they need to be, and our temperature sensor is working. So that does complete our repair. We do have a fully functional unit. If you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thanks for watching.